Hello, everyone. My name is Oleg Hagan, and I'm the Community Engagement Coordinator with LA County Library, and I welcome you to Work Ready, exploring job search websites. Before we get going with today's event, I'd like to take care of some housekeeping and tell you a little bit about Work Ready. And now I'd like to tell you about the Work Ready program. Work Ready started in December of 2020 with the purpose of helping people get a job, improve their work situation, and plan a more sustainable career path. We do that in two ways. One is we lend out laptops and Wi-Fi hotspots for 6-week loans out of 27 library locations, where it breaks down at least one barrier to applying for a job or getting online training. And number two is we provide virtual events just like this one on a range of work-related topics from basics like resumes, cover letters, interviews to deep dives into various careers and other subjects that will help you succeed at work. And you can see over at this point, like 60, 70 of those past programs uh, on our YouTube channel on the work and career playlist. I'm going to post a link to that in the chat. I recommend you peruse our YouTube channel because there's a lot of good stuff there. And I'm not just talking about the work-related programs. There's a lot of fun programs on that YouTube channel. And the Work Ready program is made possible due to funds provided by the American Rescue Plan. Now, before we get going with the presentation, I do also want to tell you about what we have coming up in a couple of weeks, and that is Work Ready Careers in Hospitality. I don't have a registration link for you just yet, but if you get our email newsletter or you keep up on our website, then you will see when this gets posted. When there's a registration link, and you can go get there for free if you're interested in a career in hospitality. We'll have Chef Mitchell Frieder and Senior Outreach Specialist Larry Carr as they discuss their experience working in the food service industry, how to get there, how to get hired, how to get free training. The program is coming on February 6th, Tuesday at 11 o'clock. And if you're interested in any of our virtual or in-person programs, you can go to our website at lacountylibrary.org, click on the events link on the top right-hand side. That button will take you to all the programs, kids, teens, adults, older adults, everything that the library offers for free, in-person and virtual. And if you're only interested in virtual programs like this one, then you can hover over that events button and you'll get a little drop down, says virtual program. You click on that and that'll give you just our Zoom events, also for all ages and also absolutely free. There was just a question in the chat that I can answer for you. Are older programs available to view on YouTube? Yes. So almost all of the Work Ready events from December of 2020 to the present day are available on YouTube. And this program is also being recorded. So if you have to leave early or you miss any part of it, don't worry. It's being recorded. It'll be posted on our YouTube channel within a week of this session, hopefully just in the next few days. And you'll all get a follow-up email with the video link to that. And you can, at that point, go explore our YouTube channel or just watch this video, share it with your friends, whatever is best for you. All right, and now it's time to get started with today's program. Today's presenter is Lawrence Mack. Lawrence is a Maker Mobile librarian with LA County Library, and that means he drives a colorful van all over LA County, visiting places like schools, parks, senior centers, libraries, all sorts of other places doing STEAM programs, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math programs for people of all ages. And today, he's joining us to help you explore job search websites. Lawrence, you are on.
Thank you so much for the introduction, Oleg, and good morning, everyone. I will share my presentation and we will be off to the races. All right, so my name is Lawrence and I will be your host for today's Work Ready program. And today we're going to be exploring job search websites. So we'll get an overview of both the library's resources as well as some of the more popular job search websites out there. And after that overview of the sites, I'll take you on a virtual tour of the sites to explore their job search functions and some of their special features. Again, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to post them in the Q&A section, and we'll be happy to address them during the Q&A at the end of the program. All right, so here's our program description. Take a tour of the most popular websites for job seekers and discover search strategies and research methods to make you a stronger applicant. All right, and what we'll cover. So we'll cover some of the library resources that we have on our Tools for Job Seekers page. And we'll take a look at some popular job search sites and also some additional resources, including accessibility settings for perhaps disabled job seekers, and also how to use accessibility settings on some of these websites, and also to make it easier to view, more accessible for everyone. Okay, so let's jump right in. So on our Tools for Job Seekers page, which you can find at lacountylibrary.org/job help, there are a variety of job search links. So the ones that we'll cover include CalJobs, LA 2050, Workforce 50, and also the USA Jobs as well. But there are a lot of other links there that I definitely encourage you to explore at your own leisure, because those include a lot of different job postings and resources and strategies as well. All right, so the first one is CalJobs. So CalJobs is it includes job listings for the entire state of California. And they source their job listings from both Indeed and ZipRecruiter, two of the most recognized, well-known, the largest job listing sites out there. So they have a ton of jobs all aggregated on their website. In addition to job listings, you can find live and virtual workshops and events. They include links to find job fairs, skills workshops, resource fairs, all around the California area. And you can limit it to a certain location to find ones that are closest to you. In addition, they also have Education Services Locator, which means they provide links to find, for example, schools or technical programs, colleges, community colleges, and also financial assistance programs that can help bolster a person's education or provide financial assistance for the education so that so they can work towards getting the necessary skills or requirements needed for a certain job. And again, they also have an extensive suite of accessibility tools, and they're located at caljobs.ca.gov. All right, next, there's LA 2050. So LA 2050 is a fairly recent venture. It was launched in 2011, but it was posted to our own job search website or page fairly recently. And it was launched to develop a roadmap for the future of Los Angeles, focusing on civic and social activism. So they have a lot of job listings for nonprofit organizations, for government agencies, and also social impact groups in LA County. So if on your job search, you want to find a job that focuses on civic or social issues, this website might have the job for you. In addition to their job listings, they also host a database of nonprofit organizations in the area, and also that post open positions on their website for users to find and research. So they have summaries and overviews. They have their mission statements. So they have all that information there for potential job seekers to find organizations that they identify with, that align with their values. All right, next we have Workforce 50. So Workforce 50 is a website that's tailored to older job seekers age 50 and up. So they provide job listings, and they're also filtered by state or employer. What's cool about Workforce 50 is that all of their job listings on the site, it is made for the employees who post those job listings are posting them specifically for older job seekers. So those are the people they want filling their positions. And there's also additional resources. For example, they have a lot of different articles written by people who run the website about how to utilize social media, about how to deal with, about how to update a resume, about how to deal with age discrimination, about how to, let's say, update their LinkedIn account or creating a LinkedIn account. All things that older job seekers who are looking for a job and might not have been in the job market for the past X amount of years might not be accustomed to. So there's a lot of additional resources that can help older job seekers transition into this more digital age of job searching. And then next we have USA Jobs and also California State Jobs. So if you're interested in a job with government, whether that's the US federal government or the California state government, USA Jobs and California State Jobs are there. So USA Jobs is for the US federal government. There's open federal government jobs from all departments. And they also provide links to federal government hiring events. So resource fairs, job fairs that have a federal government presence where you can go and interact with some representatives from those organizations. And they also provide hiring paths guides. So those are kind of like job guides for federal positions. So, you know, if you wanted to find the specific requirements, or maybe educational background or skill background for a certain job, they have those guides available as well. And then also for state jobs with the California state government, you can apply for open state job listings at California State Jobs and also learn more about the state positions and benefits that they have as well. Okay, and then some of the popular job search sites that we will cover include Indeed, LinkedIn, and also some sites for people with disabilities, such as Ability Jobs and CareerCast Disability Network. Okay, so if you've ever looked for a job before in the past, a couple years, you've probably used Indeed. That's because it's one of the largest, if not the largest, job search site in the world. I saw in a recent statistic, it had over 350 million unique visitors every month. So what it does, it aggregates job listings from websites, including like job boards, from staffing firms, from company career pages, and it puts them all on its own website. It also allows companies to post job listings directly to Indeed's website as well. And it's got a pretty comprehensive job search tool. You can search by the industry, by a career, or by a specific company. They have a lot of resources beyond just the job postings. They have a review system for employers that employees can write. And also they have salary comparison tools where you can compare the salary from different jobs and also maybe across companies as well. Creating an account is free, as well as applying to jobs. And they also have cool research or a cool virtual resume builder tool. So what that is, and a lot of job search websites offer this as well, but it's basically a step-by-step process that they take you through to build a resume. So they'll ask you questions, they'll have you fill in information, and at the end of the day, they'll kind of put that information into a resume template that you have ready to apply for jobs. So all of that's found at Indeed.com, and we'll be taking a look at that one later. Okay, as well as this one, LinkedIn. So LinkedIn, it started off as a professional networking site. And you might not have noticed if you haven't used LinkedIn for a while, but it is also a pretty good job searching website now as well. So they have over 6 million postings, and they are the largest professional networking site. So that gives them an advantage over for example, Indeed, because on LinkedIn, you can directly connect with representatives from the company or companies that you're interested in and actually have a back and forth messaging with them to maybe ask questions about the company. So their job postings do lean more towards professional office type positions, but you'll be able to find job postings for all types of jobs on LinkedIn. Now, they do have a couple of cool new features that I want to highlight. So the first one is job collections. So the job collections feature helps you expand your job search to discover jobs that match the skills and experience that you put onto your LinkedIn profile. So they might categorize job collections on domains. So that's kind of like specific and interesting specialties that a job focuses on. So for example, jobs that deal with like the metaverse, or maybe jobs that deal with food service industry. That could be a domain that they categorize the collection in. They could categorize it by industry. So, for example, that's a group of organizations or businesses engaged in similar fields of work within a specific market. So, for example, it can have a collection of, let's say, healthcare, or a collection of government jobs, or a collection of like marketing jobs. They could also have a collection based on company benefits. So, for example, they could have a collection where they have, 401k matches, or maybe specific PTO, paid time off, or maybe parental leave. So that's another collection that they could potentially do. And also, LinkedIn also has kind of annual lists of top companies that they put out as collections as well. So, however, the job collections won't appear for everyone, especially if the LinkedIn user doesn't put enough information into their profile. So if they have only members who have sufficient relevant experience or maybe jobs available will be able to have this feature even appear. So that's one of the downsides that I saw a LinkedIn post about. Another cool feature is the preferences. And this one, you can set preferences for your job search. And so, for example, let's say you want to you would prefer remote work or hybrid work. So if you select that in the preferences, then job listings that appear with, let's say, remote or hybrid work will be highlighted in green when browsing through a job searching list. So that's pretty cool. You can also set it by employment type, full-time, part-time, or even minimum salary. And, jobs that meet your preferences will be highlighted as well. And then there's also an easy apply function. So easy apply, it's a button that appears for some job listings on LinkedIn. And that basically means if you already have everything set up in your LinkedIn profile, like let's say you already have your resume, you already have your basic information put set up in your LinkedIn profile, jobs with the easy apply function lets candidates just click on that button and zoom through the application process. Basically, it'll just take what you already have and submit that all to the company to complete the application process. So it takes a couple of minutes and it works very effectively for candidates that are applying for a large number of positions. Okay. And let's move on over to some websites for job seekers with disabilities. So there's Ability Jobs. It's a dedicated website for disability employment. So basically, 100% of their posted jobs are from employers who are specifically seeking to hire people with disabilities. So they purposefully post on this site to hire people with disabilities. And they also, in addition to their job search, they have pretty cool accessible virtual online career fairs, which they regularly have. And this is where job seekers can meet representatives from local and national employers virtually. And they have pretty cool features. They have sign language interpreters that are on call to assist with those live virtual meetings. They have captioning services, so real time talk to text for maybe folks who have difficulty hearing, and it's compatible with screen reader applications. And then for other resources for job seekers with disabilities, we have the CalCareers LEAP program. So that's the Limited Examination and Appointment Program, and it's designed to help people with disabilities get jobs in the California State Civil Service. So that's an alternative to the traditional job application process in that it allows applicants to demonstrate their knowledge, skills, or abilities through on-the-job testing. And for federal jobs, USA Gov also has a pretty comprehensive disability jobs education page that covers programs such as Ticket to Work and AbilityOne.gov that can help folks with disabilities get jobs with the federal government. And in addition to websites that each have their own accessibility settings, your browsers, whether you're using Edge, Chrome, or Firefox, all have accessibility features that are built into their settings, just in case a website doesn't have a lot of accessibility features. The browser itself has options for changing the text size, changing contrast for readability, changing maybe some of the colors. Some of them even have kind of like a screen reader app that have web pages read aloud and magnifying tools to enlarge portions of the web page. So on websites, you usually search for accessibility on the homepage, usually at the bottom. And during our tour of the websites themselves, I'll attempt to show you where those websites have their accessibility settings. For the browsers, you'll usually find the accessibility features, again, built into their settings. Okay. And in addition to searching for jobs on those websites, oftentimes you want to maybe research a particular business as well. And the library also provides two resources to do so. That is Data Axle and Business Insights Essentials. And those are on our business resources page, but this is also very relevant for for people who are looking for jobs. So Data Axle includes information on over 94 million businesses, including small businesses. And Business Insights Essentials, they provide company profiles and history for larger corporations. And the benefits of researching the company that you're applying for, they let you better prepare for job interviews. So oftentimes, whenever employers ask you, like, at during a job interview, they might ask, do you have any questions about the company? And if you research a business, you can become better prepared and maybe have a couple questions of your own that can take you a long way into making a good impression during a job interview. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to share my my web browser, and we will kind of take a look at all those websites that I just talked about, and take a look at some of their job searching features and their special features. So let me share. Okay, so now we're on the web browser, and to access the Tools for Job Seekers page on the library's website, here's how to do it. So this is the LA County Library's homepage, lacountylibrary.org. And to find the Tools for Job Seekers page, I'm going to hover my cursor over Resources, and then I'm going to go over to the left-hand side on Programs, go all the way down and find Tools for Job Seekers. So that's what I'm going to click. And that will bring me to the Tools for Job Seekers website. So here's the page. That contains all of the library's linked job search resources. So here we have CalJobs, we have some of the other ones that I haven't touched on, like LA County Human Resources. So if you want, let's say, jobs with LA County, that's where to go. The LA 2050, California State Jobs, USA Jobs, and they also have links to like Monster and Career Builder. Those are two other job search websites that you can try out as well. And also here, there's the Jobs and Employment section. Find Occupational Outlook Handbook and California Labor Market Information. So you can research specific types of occupations and take a look at maybe their salaries, their forecasts, and maybe what's kind of skills that are required. Okay, and then there are some library resources for learning new skills in the middle as well. But we're going to focus on this job search bar on the right-hand side. And the first one, the first website that I want to show you is CalJobs. So if you click on that, you'll go to CalJobs. So this is the CalJobs website. So it's kind of like the official job board of the state of California. Again, they have job listings from Indeed and ZipRecruiter. So they have quite a few jobs here. So first, what you can do is to find a job. So to find a job, you just simply click there, and then you can search. Their standard job search is pretty involved as well, because there's a lot of additional search features that are immediately available. So you can do a lot of customization already with a standard job search. So let's say job title. Let's say I want to look for software engineer. And the city, keep it simple, do Los Angeles, California. And you can do a quick search. Now, they have some of these defaults selected. So the search radius, you can search within 25 miles of Los Angeles, California, or you can expand that radius as well. But we'll leave it on 25 miles for now and see what we find. You can have jobs posted within. So if you want more recent postings, because that will probably mean less people have applied potentially, you can have jobs posted within, let's say, the last 2 months. Okay. And then you can have a lot of different selections as well. So you can have different occupation groups. You can do an education level. And also you can do sources as well. So, you can prefer to find, let's say, corporate work or maybe government work, hospital work, or you can have them all checked and just browse through at your own leisure. And you can also have selections for on-site, hybrid, or remote work as well. So once I have everything there, click search. And okay. So they will have, well, so there's over 1,000 jobs within 25 miles of Los Angeles. All right. So what they'll have here, they'll have the job title, the employer, and where it is, and also how often, or how recently this job was posted. So this was 2 weeks ago, and they have a small overview of the job. If you see something you like, go ahead and click that, and it will take you into the job listing page itself, where you'll find a lot more detailed information. And you can look through the job description. They'll tell you a bit about the employer if applicable, and if there's the information for, let's say, compensation, hours, and work experience, that will all be loaded there. However, this doesn't have it, but so if you log in and you make an account, you can always like this job. And if you like it, that means it's saved to a list and you can come back to it later. And if you want, you can always just click apply to this job, and that will take you to the relevant page to apply for this specific job. So, so again, it requires you to sign in, but once you sign in, you will be taken to the application page where you'll start filling out all the information and uploading things like your resume, cover letter, and any additional materials that are required. Okay, so let's go back to the CalJobs front page. Now, besides the job search, there's also a lot of things for job seekers that I touched on. So again, you can find a workshop or event. Okay. And now if you find a workshop or event, if you're looking for, job fairs, resource fairs, where you can actually connect with, excuse me, where you can actually connect with representatives from the organization and, have a face-to-face conversation, learn more about some of job, you can definitely do so. Okay, there we go. So you can filter by filter upcoming events. So you're going to do a zip code, event region. So the region you can do all over the state of California. So here we have city of Los Angeles, we have LA County, we've got a whole lot of places to filter, but we'll stick with the city for now. And you can choose, what category it's in, workshop, training, or job fair. So let's do a job fair, and you can choose if it's an on-site event or if it's an online event or hybrid event. So let's say you want on-site event, and looks like they already have a lot that are here for January. So if you scroll down, again, if you want more information on an event, more than welcome to just click one. And it should give you more information on, let's say, how you can register or just go to attend the event where it's at. Okay. Right. And then for CalJobs, for the accessibility settings, if I scroll down, let's see. So yeah, so there's accessibility settings. There's a statement here that talks about how this website is accessible for all users, that meets accessibility guidelines, and also some features on how to use that. some instructions as well. Okay, so that is CalJobs. All right, so the next one we're going to cover is LA 2050. So again, this is the website that talks that focuses on social and civic minded jobs. So they have their jobs board here on the upper right. And if you scroll down, you'll start seeing open positions. So again, this job search feature isn't as robust as let's say CalJobs or some of the other ones that we'll cover, but the organizations that are posting these jobs are a lot more focused, around social work, around cultural and civic minded work. So again, there's the position, organization, employment type, and when it was posted. So it looks like there are a lot of job postings here. But if you see one you like, again, campaign manager, immigrants, or LA. So let's go ahead and click into that. There's some more information about the job, and there's instructions on how to apply, and also a link to the post so that you can apply. So yeah, that's this LA 250. Now again, there's also the hub. So they kind of talk about their different, let's see. Yeah, so they talk about their news and announcements, and also you can find out more about what events are happening, and you'll probably be able to connect with a lot of the organizations that are posting those jobs at these events, as they're pretty active and involved in the community. Okay, so that being said, I'm going to move on to workforce50.com. So once you enter into that, so this is the homepage for workforce50.com. They'll have sort of a blurb about what Workforce 50 is all about, jobs for older or experienced workers. And you can search for jobs on Workforce 50. You can do a quick job search by the state or by employers, or you can definitely just jump right into Workforce 50 jobs. So that will take you to that job search interface that we're all going to be very familiar with. We've got a keyword or title field. We've got a location field and a search. All right. So again, if you're looking for jobs here, let's say you see something you like, you can always just click on it. It'll give you a lot more details about it. Again, position, salary, and a bit about the employer. You can apply to the job. They'll have the apply button right here. And you can also share this job on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, or X, or on an RSS feed if you'd like to share it with others. Now, the cool thing about Workforce 50 that I mentioned before is the Workforce 50 library. So this, if you mouse over Workforce 50 library, they'll have a list of topics that concern older or experienced workers, including like resumes and career marketing, optimizing LinkedIn, personal finance, a lot of really helpful stuff. So again, if older strategies to build self-confidence, let's check that out. So they'll have sort of a list of articles that talk about the topic, as well as kind of a blurb on the author that talks about their accomplishments. And then if you just click on each article, it provides more in-depth information. So that's pretty cool. for Workforce 50. So that's the job search features. Okay, and then for the last tools for job seekers, the library page, we're going to go to USA Jobs. So this is the USA Jobs website. This is the official job searching website for the federal government. Again, we've got the keywords and we've got location or remote. So let's say you want to take a look, something to do with software engineer. Let's see if they have anything. Okay, so it looks like they have quite a few. And then just do a keyword search, and then we're gonna do Los Angeles, California. Okay, then we're gonna do a search. Okay, so they've got 21 jobs listed. And then again, they'll list the job title. They'll list which department of the federal government this job is located in, and also where the employee will be. So again, this is a remote job, looks like, and it's also got the dates as well. And what's cool is, they're pretty transparent about the salary as well, and also whether the job is permanent or not, and whether it's full-time or part-time. So again, if that looks interesting, I'm gonna click in there. And it's pretty easy. Again, this job is open to either career transition or the public. And all you need to do is click apply. And if you do have an account, if you're logged in, it'll take you to the application process where, again, you'll just fill out information and upload resume and other documents as well. So that's USA Jobs. That's the job searching feature. And also they have some cool information lower on as well. So they'll kind of tell you about the federal application process, how it works, and also any fields that they're urgently hiring in. So, if this fits with one of your areas of expertise and, you want to find a job with the federal government, this is also a good place to look at. And then if you go even lower, they have hiring paths. So it's sort of kind of like career guides for certain subsets of the population. So again, like if it's open to the public, or if it's just for federal employees, or even for students and recent graduates, if you click on that, they'll kind of tell you about maybe programs you're eligible for or job opportunities that are tailored for that specific subset of the population. And then again, if you near the bottom, they'll have, for example, career fairs. These are online, but career fairs that you can attend to learn more about government federal jobs. All right. Okay, so that's all of our tools for job seekers overviews for the websites. So now let's move on to Indeed. So Indeed, this is what you're going to see. If you're logged in, it will have a lot more for you to do. So this is normal job search for Indeed.com. Again, if you look for software engineer, let's say, in Los Angeles, and do a search. And their interface is a bit cleaner than some of the other ones that we've seen. They have all of their options listed here that you can click on and toggle to refine your search. You can have it posted within the last, 24 hours or within the last couple of days. You can have it remote or hybrid work. You can limit it to a certain geographical location. You can take a look at the pay scales. So there's a lot of things that you can use to refine your job search. Again, if you click on one of these jobs, all of your results will be on the left-hand side, and the actual job will be on the right-hand side. So all of the job details are there, so you can look at both the available jobs and information for the currently selected one there as well. So you can take a look at any skills or education you need, learn more about the job details, maybe the pay, the type of job, and where it's located as well. But I also want to show you some of the cooler features on Indeed. So in your profile, I'm going to go into my profile right here, and you can toggle your job preferences. So this is a pretty cool feature where you can add job types. So you can search for any job types that you want. So let's say you're looking for just full-time job. So I'm going to save that. Work schedule. Let's say you only want Monday through Friday job. You want to save that. And you can, set like sort of like a minimum pay as well. So, let's say start there, and let's say per year. So a yearly salary. Okay. So once you have these preferences and you go home, you see that the jobs that are listed here, they're highlighted in green based on your preferences. So that's really cool because it will let you kind of see what jobs more closely match your preferences. So you're going to have an easier time filtering out ones that you want and ones that maybe you don't want. So as you can see, all of these that meet your preferences are highlighted in green. All right. And then, if you want to apply for a job, if you click apply, it will take you to all of that information that you can start filling out and then submit once that application is complete. Again, you can always bookmark jobs and save that to the My Jobs list. And also, there's other tools as well. So you can look for company reviews. And this is a feature that a lot of the previous job searching websites we looked at didn't have, but this is really cool as well because this lets you take a look at the salaries and also reviews of certain companies that maybe you want to research and work in. So, for example, let's say Lockheed Martin. Let's go with that. So if you click on a company, you can take a look at their overall rating. You can take a look at certain rankings for certain aspects of the company, and also take a look at some information about the company as well. And also any jobs they have and where they are located at. Another cool thing is you can also take a look at the salaries, and from here you can compare them to similar jobs from similar companies to see how those salaries stack up. And they have certain benefits as well, and also a rating overview, of how their rating either went up or down over time from employee reviews. And if you scroll down more, you can take a look at actual reviews written by hopefully former employees talking about their experience in their position and at their locations. So this is a pretty cool resource to have, one that you definitely should utilize during your job search. Okay, now let's move on to LinkedIn. So again, LinkedIn is also a job search website. It has a lot of similar features to Indeed, but it has the added caveat that it is also a professional networking site. So what that means is you can connect with actual people from organizations, and you can send them messages and ask them questions. So that's pretty cool as well. But this is the LinkedIn interface. For the job features, you just go ahead and click on jobs in the top bar right there. And so they have all of these, they have recommended jobs, and also you want to look on the left-hand side for all of your features as well. So first, I want to show you the preferences. So in preferences, it's just like LinkedIn, where if I click this, all right. So I add these preferences, like I'm okay with, let's see, I want to look for software engineer, location types. I either want on-site or I want remote, let's say. And then locations will have LA, and employment types. Let's do full-time. So let's go ahead and save that. Oh, select visibility. So your preferences, they can be visible to recruiters only or all LinkedIn members. So I'm just going to do recruiters only. Going to do save. And once those are updated, okay. Once I start looking for a job, let's say software engineer in Los Angeles. Let's do that. Okay, so with your preferences, so again, you can see right here, it's highlighted in green, on-site, full-time. Again, it's very similar to Indeed, where your list of jobs is on the left-hand side and the job information is on the right-hand side. So you'll be able to see, you know, the title, the salary, information about the job and the company itself. And then you can also apply, and that takes you to the application page as well. Okay. Now, let's see. So they also have a couple different links. So you can do a resume builder. So that lets you either upload a resume or you can create it from a profile. If you do create one, it'll take you to a page where you start entering information. Then it'll take that information and put it in a nice looking layout. And then boom, you have a resume that you can use to submit for jobs. And they also have services like interview prep, where they can, you know, let you know common interview questions. They can let you, you know, take a look at how to answer certain questions. Although I think that's LinkedIn Premium, so it's paid service. Practice your answers and get feedback. So it looks like that's premium service right there. And then there's also job seeker guidance, which has articles that talk about how to improve certain aspects of the job searching process. Okay, so that's LinkedIn Learning right there. It's similar to Indeed, but they both have quite a few jobs that you can search through. Okay, and then now we'll go to Ability Jobs. So again, this Ability Jobs is the largest job site for people with disabilities. If you're a job seeker, you're going to go to Job Search. And that will take you to the job search page. Again, there's your search feature. You can search for keyword, job title, location, and also like radius. You can search there. And then you'll have your job results on the left-hand side and your job listings on the right-hand side. So that being said, again, it'll show all the information you need, the job description, maybe salary and location, maybe something about the actual company itself. And then you can also apply for the job. or save it if you have an account with them. Okay. Now, their career fair is their special feature. So it looks like their latest job fair was December 7th. And they had all of these employers represented. So let's say they have the IRS, they have Meta, which is Facebook, pretty much, and General Dynamics, the United Nations. They have pretty cool roundup of employers. But again, they have all of their accessibility features. And also looks like you can sign up for the next one here as well. All right. And other things that you can do for the job seekers, post the resume, and also there's resources for job seekers as well. So there's information about certain programs, green jobs, actors, that people can read through if they're interested. Okay, and now I want to turn to the to researching a job, and this can be found at our Business Resources Center page on the LA County Library website. So we've got, I'll show you how to get there as well. So this is our homepage again, and I'm just going to hover my mouse over resources. And again, all the way on the left-hand side, there's business resources. That's what I'm going to click on. That takes me to the business resources site. Okay. And we've got Business Insights Essentials and Data Axle Reference Solutions. So what these resources can do, so I'm just going to click on Business Insights Essentials, is it lets you research a certain company. So for example, let's say somebody wants a job at, let's say Walmart. So they can research Walmart here, but they can also research competitors like Target in the same place. So let's say Walmart. So we're going to click on that. So if you click on that, you get a corporate overview of Walmart, but you can kind of tell how it's doing compared with its competitors, maybe how it's doing on a financial standpoint. And there's a lot of information here where if you ask about it in a job interview in an applicable situation, it might give you an advantage over other job seekers who might not have asked about certain aspects of a company. So that's, researching company can help you, can potentially give you an advantage during the job interview process. Okay, and let's go back here. Okay, so again, that was a lot to take in, I know, but it's this program is also recorded, so you can also go back to view it at your own leisure. If you need information on either job searching or on anything at all, more than welcome to take advantage of the library's reference services. You can reach us on phone, by phone, through text, through email, or through Instant Librarian, or you can visit any one of our locations and visit the reference desk. The librarian there will be more than happy to help you with your information need. So that was tools for job seekers, exploring job search websites. And thank you so much for attending. Let's move on to the Q&A.
Sure, and we've got quite a few questions queued up. So let's get right into them. Actually, I'm going to cover just one really quick. So somebody asked, where can we find the recording of this program? And it's a great question. We've had a few people ask about that. And just so you know, it will be posted on our YouTube channel in the next few days. I have to edit the video and then bring it up there, and you'll get a link via email if you register for the program. That'll include a video link as well as the PDF of Lawrence's presentation. So you'll be able to review the presentation, as Lawrence said, at your leisure. All right, now let's get into the other questions here. So the first question is, I've seen a few job postings on Indeed or LinkedIn that sound promising, but when I check the employer's own website, the job opening is not listed. Are all the job listings on these websites real?
So that is a really good question, considering that there are a lot of job scams going around these days. So based on that, you want to find the contact information for the company that's listed, and contact that company to make sure that that job opening is real, that they actually have that job opening. And a good way to do that is through the research tools on either Indeed or on Business Insights Essentials or Data Axle, or even on Google. Just try Googling that corporation and find an official point of contact to make sure that that job posting is legitimate.
Sometimes I would also say that sometimes the listings on popular job search sites are just old. So as Lawrence, I know you pointed out that on some of the sites it says there's a 10 days old or 2 weeks old. So if it's more than a few weeks old and you're not finding it on the company's website, it's possible that the job has already been filled or they've already scheduled interviews and they just didn't remove it from the site. So that's also a possibility. But a lot of people have asked about scams, and we're going to cover scams a little bit more later. Which search engine is best for finding work from home jobs?
Well, if you're talking about a general search engine, probably Google is the one that has the most reach.
I
Um,
think like job search sites.
oh, okay. Then anyone that offers the work from home option, remote work. So, for example, on Indeed, on LinkedIn, they all have that option to search only for remote work jobs, and that's a good place to start. Let's see. CalJobs has a remote work option, Indeed, and LinkedIn out of the ones that I covered.
Yeah, there's some websites there are websites specifically for remote jobs, but they'll tend to cross post on the popular job sites as well. And then there are also some job sites that are for specific fields. For example, the website Outer Join is specifically for data analysis jobs. I think data analysis and like data scientist remote jobs. So there's a lot of job sites out there. That's a nice thing. Um, how do you set up a job collection in LinkedIn?
So for LinkedIn, again, so it says on their website that the job collections feature only works if you put enough information into your bio for job searching, and then it will automatically appear when you meet some kind of parameter. So my recommendation is to just fill out as much information as you can, and then it'll become available. If not, I'd recommend like maybe talking to LinkedIn tech support to see like what exactly you need to have that activate.
I've seen the job collections. LinkedIn has recommended jobs to me, and I found them to be not that useful. But I think your mileage will vary. Some jobs, it's a lot easier to kind of isolate what you're trying to do. And sometimes where like my job title is community engagement coordinator, which is not necessarily a title that exists in all libraries. So then it gets confused and sends me other jobs that are sort of mildly relevant or not relevant at all. But yeah, it's possible that it would do a good job. Um, as a certified resume writer, we don't recommend using the easy apply function, also on LinkedIn, as it doesn't give you the opportunity to customize your resume for a particular job. Thoughts?
Um, yeah, if you do want to customize your resume for a certain job, yeah, for sure, you want to take the more detailed application route to make sure that you can, upload and select your customized resume for a job.
If you're looking for jobs that are very much alike, that require experiences that are very much alike to what you already have on your LinkedIn profile, then Easy Apply might make sense. But if you're applying for a variety of jobs where there might be subtle differences, then indeed you want to customize your resume. Easy Apply is easy, but it may not be the best course of action. The next question is, you listed a few job sites for folks with disabilities, and does that include mental disabilities?
Um, let's see. So I'm not sure, but let me post a link to the Ability Jobs FAQ, where they answer the question, does my disability qualify to be part of Ability Jobs? I think that might help there.
I think disabilities vary so widely that it's pretty difficult to say yes or no for each specific job. I mean, it really depends. All right. Does let's go to scams now because we've talked about scams. I think that people have mentioned scams, and I want to read a comment from the chat, and then we'll go in more on scams. So I was scammed. I had a fake interview where they asked me to record my responses. The recruiter did have a profile on LinkedIn, so I thought it was real. However, I did call the company directly after my interview, and they confirmed that it was a scam. Follow your gut. That right there is to begin with talking about scams. That's great advice. If it seems weird, then it probably is. So let's cover some questions about scams. The first one is does Cal Jobs or say like any of the sites that you've talked about screen out scams?
Um, I would say that it's kind of hard to do so, uh, because they're just kind of like an aggregator function where they automatically pull job listings from sources on the web. I don't know if they have an active scam screener. So it's best to just be aware, and if you suspect a scam, confirm with the company, or try to confirm that it's legitimate before applying.
Do you know of any job scam websites that stay away? I don't know of any.
Let's
We
see.
try to look at legit sites.
Yeah. I mean, I probably say you probably find a lot of job scams on Craigslist, just off the
Yeah.
top of my head.
Craigslist used to be when I was just starting with computing and in the that was in the mid 90s, but then in the early 2000s, Craigslist was a big deal and it was very popular and was very helpful to people. And these days, I haven't looked at it in a long time. The last time I tried to buy furniture or something or sell furniture, um, some people messaged me and they were not legitimate. Um,
Mhm.
Somebody mentioned this in the chat, Career Builder. Actually, we had Career Builder as part of this presentation in the past. Oh, Career Builder seems that maybe that's a site that has a lot of scams, possibly.
Hmm.
But yeah, stay away from Craigslist. Let's talk about some red flags. So what Lawrence would you say is a red flag or some red flags when it comes to looking at job sites and then going through the process of applying?
Well, some red flags for job listings, I'd say, is if you encounter a lot of misspellings and typos in the job listing itself. If it doesn't look professional, uh, that might be a red flag. Um, see, another one is if the email that they're having you send your materials to or communicate with, if that email is like some kind of private email, if it's from like, Gmail or Yahoo or something, and it's not like that company's professional domain, that's another red flag, because recruiters from a company will usually be using a company account to talk with potential applicants.
Indeed. Or sorry, I was not Indeed.com. Indeed, like yes. Um, yeah, there's if the job doesn't have a lot of if the ad doesn't have a lot of information about what the job is or the job responsibilities, or has a very generic kind of name, that's also a possible scam because they just want to get as many applicants as possible and not actually fill a role. If they want your personal information really early in the interview, like social security numbers and stuff, no. And if they want to pay you, if they want you to pay them for applying, job seekers shouldn't be paying anything to put in their application to go through the process. No, no, at no time during a job search process should you be paying for anything, buying anything from the companies. Like if you need to buy a uniform before you even, no, that's not a thing. Uh, we can get into more scams a little bit later, but what does NLX mean? I'm not actually sure which part of the presentation that's from. Do you know what that refers to, Lawrence?
I didn't pick up on that either.
Okay. Maybe if you have more information, whoever asked that, Jen, if you have where that came from in the presentation, send us an email. We'll cover that for you. Can you explain the difference between government jobs and Cal jobs?
Um, Sure. So there's a couple different government job resources. So CalJobs, so CalJobs, which was the first website that I covered, it's provided by the state of California, but it's a job board just for all of California, pretty much. So they have job listings from non-government sources like that are available on like LinkedIn or ZipRecruiter. They're all posted there. However, if we're doing the California State Jobs website or the USA Jobs website, which is for the federal government, those job search websites are limited to jobs working for the state government or the federal government.
Sounds good. Moving on. Is there a resource for people looking for jobs in different languages other than English? Does
Hmm.
LinkedIn have language filters? I I may be dreaming, but it's possible that LinkedIn has within its regular job site filters uh, by language, but I'm not really sure. I think the scope of this presentation is more focused on English, but surely there are job sites out there in other languages. I would Google job site and then location or job site United States in whatever language you're interested in. And there's very likely to be job sites in other languages, particularly languages that are common where you're searching. So in Los Angeles, I'm sure there are job sites that are in Spanish, um, and or sites that are in English by default, but may have a Spanish translation.
Yeah. Off the top of my head, I don't know. But we can take a look and post that in the follow-up email.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. I'm gonna make a note of that as well. Uh, let's see, here's a question. Um, do you know if you wear a hearing aid but aren't categorized as having a disability or on disability insurance, but perhaps you can't do your former job after a while, uh, and then continuing with that type of work worsens your ear health according to your doctor, would you qualify as being able to get a job with a disability? So I think if you have some level of disability from a previous job, but it may not be, it seems like it's sort of an invisible disability. Um, Actually, I'm just going to say that the answer is probably yes. The answer is that it seems like, because there's a lot of specific details as part of this question, but I think the answer is probably yes. It seems like if you are wearing a hearing aid or if you're hard of hearing, then that you would qualify. When a job posting shows promoted, is that a good thing?
It's not inherently good or bad. Um, if it's promoted, it just means that whoever posted the job paid extra to the website to have their job listing show up first. So that's pretty much it.
Is it really worth it to pay for premium for LinkedIn?
Um, I it
I would say
depends on if
for
you.
most people, no. But so you have to look at what services, what additional features you get when you get premium. So one of them that I know is that you're able to see everyone who looks at your profile. And I would say for most people, that really doesn't matter that much, because it doesn't, you know, who cares if so and so looked at your profile? That doesn't help you really get a job. It doesn't give you a lot more information. So I would say look at the features that LinkedIn Premium offers and then compare it with your needs. But yeah, like I said, I think for most people, it really doesn't. Really, the benefit is not necessarily there. Somebody posted one identifier that something might be a scam is if it's too good to be true. Yes, that's where you get that that where you get that tickle in the back of your head and going, wait, how could this be? They're paying this much for this job? No, it can't be. And you're right, it probably can't. Um, are there any library jobs that don't require a degree? Yes, there are. So the position of a librarian requires a MLIS or Master's of Library and Information Science degree, but the other jobs like library associates, the person who shelves books, that they're called, usually it's a page or in the city of Los Angeles messenger clerk. People who shelve books, they don't need to have a degree. Somebody who works at the checkout desk, so it's a library associate or library aide, they don't have to have a degree. They're different job titles in different libraries, but the person who works at the checkout desk tends not to have a degree. There's also administrative positions that don't necessarily require a library degree, and there's positions in library systems that don't require a library degree at all because they're not librarian positions at all. So there are positions that don't that where you don't do any library work, where you do other stuff like operations or facilities, just like in any other organizations. You can work for the library, but you can work for the library, cleaning the library, or you can work in account, in fiscal, do accounting for the library. So I think that yeah, if you have questions about library careers, feel free to email Lawrence or myself, and we'll be happy to help. Let's see. Does the LA County Library itself have a job site? That's a good question. We do, but it's not specifically for LA County Library. It's LA County. So LA County has a job site, and within that, you can find jobs for LA County Library. Now, we do have a page on our website where you have opportunities. If you scroll all the way down on our website, there's a link that allows you to see the jobs that the library has. Now, those aren't necessarily for specific library locations, but occasionally they are. For those, but when you click on that, it'll take you to the LA County library site. And if you go to hr.lacounty.gov, you can go to LA County, you can find LA County job listings, and they're also on governmentjobs.com. Okay. How do I know if my resume sucks or kicks butt? I love that question. I almost want to make that just a title of a program. Work ready. Resumes sucks or kicks butt. Um, Lawrence, I have a really quick answer for that. Lawrence, do you have any answers? Like it's not quite within the scope of this program, but
I'd recommend getting it reviewed by a job coach. So you can take a look at BrainFuse. That's on our Tools for Job Seekers page, and you can connect with a job coach who can help review your resume.
indeed, not .com. How do I know if my resume sucks or kicks butt? If you're getting interviews, like if you're getting called for interviews, then it probably kicks butt enough to get you in the door. If you're not, if you're sending out all over the place and you're not getting interviews, then it probably needs some feedback. So so yeah, I mean, there's ways to get it looked at and to figure that out. Um, how can we connect with you on LinkedIn, Lawrence? Lawrence, do you have a LinkedIn account?
So the one that the one that I use for this one is actually it's just a burner account for programs. So yeah, that's yep.
Yeah. I have a LinkedIn account. If you want to connect with me, you can. It's just my name. Um, so we got the resume sucks or kicks butt. I love that question. Somebody posted in the chat, if a person said he is the owner of the company, asks to send ID and social security information over email, does a legit company do something like that? Not during the job search. I mean, like not while you're interviewing. Like if they offer you the job, then potentially, I would say be careful about that. If they do everything within by email, if it's not, it doesn't seem like a legit email address, um, I would be careful. So yeah, it may not be the red flag, but it is a red flag. Any tips on how to avoid job scams through Indeed? I would like to focus on real job ads through Indeed. So again, not something we've been sort of covering, but everybody wants to avoid scams. Scams are bad. They waste of time, very frustrating. But yeah, like everything we've been saying, just be cautious. When you apply for things, if you can't find the website of the company, or if the job doesn't appear on the company website, there's things to all double check. But yeah, we've covered a few red flags, and we have a program on job scams, don't we? We've done programs on job scams. So I'll put
Mhm.
that in the follow-up email. That'll be like it's a whole hour on job scams and questions and everything. So that'll be good to look at. We should do that one again sometime soon. USA, okay, that's a comment. Is it a waste of time to apply to a job that says it already has 1,000 applicants?
It doesn't hurt to.
Yeah, I don't think that it's necessarily a waste of time, because out of those 1,000 applicants, 750 may be uh, completely not qualified for the job. And so they'll just be filtered out right away. Another 100 might be filtered out by the applicant tracking system. Who knows even though there are 1,000, who knows what the quality of the applicants are. So if you feel like you're competitive for the position, then by all means, put your application in. Some really competitive jobs have 1,000 applicants. So it may not even matter. Some may have more. Uh, Have you heard of talent.com? I'm really interested in remote. They promote this type of work. Is this legit? So I haven't heard of talent.com. That doesn't mean it's not legit, but you, just as Lauren said, most popular job sites with filters allow you to filter by remote jobs. And so there's many ways to find remote jobs, and there are many more than there used to be, many more remote jobs. Now, what I would say is this, that if you do apply for a remote job, during the interview process, ask them about the nature of the remote work, whether they expect you to stay remote, whether you need to be in the office, and make sure you get a very clear answer about what they mean by remote, because sometimes companies will put remote or check that off so that it appears when the filter comes up. But indeed, the job turns out to be more like hybrid. So it's really important that during the interview process, you get clear answers about what the job is. What
For
do you think about
talent.com,
talent.com?
I've what I'm seeing on first glance is that it's not as trustworthy. So it's got a bunch of negative reviews. Although, yeah, that's what I'm seeing at first glance.
And there are a lot of job sites out there. So the
Mhm.
nice thing about the popular job sites is that there's a lot of companies will use them. They're not so nice things. There's a lot of scammers will use them as well. How important are cover letters? We have whole programs on cover letters. I should post links to some of them in the follow-up email as well, because we've had numerous programs on cover letters. Uh, Lawrence, do you have a feeling about the importance of cover letters?
So if the application requires a cover letter, very important. If it doesn't require a cover letter, it can help. Yeah.
Yeah. If the only time where you wouldn't want to put in a cover letter is where the application says no cover letters accepted, don't put them in. Otherwise, even if it may not end up being helpful, the probability is that, if you can put something in that will help you, then put that in. I know that when I've talked to various hiring managers and we've had people on our work ready programs over the last few years, um, it's very rarely where I've heard somebody say, don't cover letters are old news. Most of the time, people say cover letters are still very much useful. Depends on the industry that matters too. In some industries, they're more passe, but in most places, cover letters still good. Can we have a step-by-step or training on spotting and verifying job scams? Yes, we can. We have, and we will again. So keep an eye out for work ready programs. I'll be scheduling for the next few months, and we'll include a job scams program there. Regarding older job seekers on LinkedIn, how far back should the profile information experience be listed? So on resumes, the recommendation is about 10 years or have a hybrid resume. On LinkedIn, you can post. I mean, there's no real page limit. So what do you think, Lawrence?
So I'd say at least 10 years, just to show that there's consistent employment or activities there.
I would say as long as it's relevant for the jobs that
Mhm.
you're looking for. So if you have a job, then, keep it, keep it, uh, last 10, 15 years. If you're looking for a job, but you have something that's relevant that was 20 years ago, that hasn't changed a lot, that will still, with somebody who sees that as a popular company or something and sees that and it'll benefit you, then include that. But realistically, because resumes are 10 years, you can also use that as your guideline for LinkedIn. How late is too late to apply for a job after it's been posted? For example, if it's been there for over 2 weeks, is it worth applying to? I think I think yes, but you can also put an email or a call into the HR department and ask them. I'd say 2 weeks is okay, but maybe like 3 weeks, a month, then spend 5 minutes to call them up and ask them.
Mhm.
See what we had because we had some other how to effectively deal with gatekeeper keyword parsing. Also, they're talking about the applicant tracking systems that I mentioned that if there's 1,000 applicants, there's an applicant tracking system or an ATS that's going to take some people out. So don't have too much formatting on your resume, not too much weird formatting, and use the words that are in the job description. That's probably those are the two simplest ways or similar words to job description. But it's hard to say. There are different applicant tracking systems, and different companies put different filters, and so it's really hard to give. People will say do this and this and this, but in fact, it's really hard to say. It's impossible because different companies filter different ways. Um, for resume. So this program is not really about resumes. We'll give maybe short answers to these questions. We'll try. For a resume, are objective descriptions still important? So like the objective at the very top, my objective, what I'd like to do is get a job, doing whatever, whatever. No, objectives tend not to be as important because they know that you're applying. Like if the objective is to get the job, you know, that's not important. But I've had various answers on whether putting a summary at the top is useful. So some people say that putting a 1 to 2 sentence summary of your qualifications, the what you're good at, I am a whatever, who's skilled at this and that, and then you have proof of that in your resume. That might be useful. For references, is it best to list them and lose valuable space for other details like skills, or is it okay to just write upon request? Always write upon request. Don't include your references with your resume. They will ask you for your references later. They don't need your references before they interview you. Is it okay to have my professional email with a mix of my first and last name, or should it be my full name? Is it okay to have a number in it? All fine. Yeah, people who have been using email, they're not that worried about whether it's part of your name or has a number in it. That's not going to be a big deal. That's not going to be a disqualifying factor. The only thing that regarding emails that have is it might be a disqualifying factor is if your email is something silly or something inappropriate for work, then you want to change your email. Somebody posted, is it possible to have a recording of this session? Yes, we're going to send out a recording of the session in a follow-up email in the next couple of days. Is ONET a good source for job postings? Does ONET have job postings, Lawrence? I know ONET is a really great site for career exploration. So if you're not sure what field you want to go into, ONET is an excellent site for learning about jobs, learning about yourself when it comes to potential careers. But I don't recall if they had job postings.
Mm, let's see.
I'm gonna,
I don't, there's job openings on the web that they have.
yeah, I would say that ONET is probably not like a job listing site. That's not their main purpose.
Yeah, so they do have job postings. Um, yeah, but it's the features. It isn't as feature rich as like Indeed or CalJobs or LinkedIn. So it's more of like a basic job posting um, feature.
Right. So what about Apple or Manpower? Are they still around? Also, how much do these companies take as a percentage of money? Okay, so this is about temp agencies. Temp agencies are still around. They each probably take a slightly different percentage of the money that you make. So that's something that you'd have to check on a case by case basis. But yeah, temp agencies are definitely still in business. I don't know if specifically, I think Apple or Apple One, yeah, it is still on Manpower. I'm not sure. Where to find specialty job sites specializing in certain industries or job function. Uh, Lawrence, if you wanna head out, I know that you had a 12:30 out, so we're already past that. If you wanna finish up, I can go through some of the other questions.
All right.
Thank you very much, Lawrence. Very much appreciated. So let me see. We still have a bunch of questions. I'll get through a few. I'll maybe do questions for another 10 or 15 minutes. And then if you have questions that aren't covered during that time, then feel free to email Lawrence or me. You can just respond to the follow-up email. So the question was where to find specialty job sites specializing in certain industries or job function. The best way to do that is to Google the job or the field and job site. And chances are, if it's a popular enough site, then it'll come up. One other way, and there are more than one, but one other way is if there's a professional association associated with the field that you're looking at, those professional associations often have job sites specifically for members. So for instance, like the California Library Association, this is a professional association for library people, uh, library workers of all sorts. They have a job board, and there's specific jobs for library workers in California. Is there any way to find out what trainings you need for a job so that you can be a well-rounded applicant? Sometimes a job doesn't specifically say, or they mention you need X number of years of experience. Yes, so there's for some jobs it's pretty obvious. You look at the job description and they all say you need to have this degree or this certification. For tech jobs, you need, for like IT, you need certain type of certifications. They're helpful. That's not always the case. Sometimes a certification is just nice to have, but not a requirement. So the best way to look for that is to look at something like the Occupational Outlook Handbook, and that'll give you, a rundown of what the job is. And often we'll say, typically this requires this degree, or Indeed.com also has descriptions of jobs. It says it requires this degree. Now, where you get kind of in the middle, where you're not really sure, some job listings have the degree or the certification, some listings don't. For those, I would recommend doing two things. One is to try to connect with people who are in those jobs already and asking them, because once you're in the field, then you have a better sense of the hiring field, especially if you've been in there for a while and worked for different companies. You have a better sense. Oh, that certification? No, nobody looks at that. Whereas the company who's doing the certifying, they're like, yeah, you have to have it. But in fact, maybe not. You can also, there's a lot of YouTube videos of people in different careers that will talk about that kind of stuff. So if there's kind of certifications that are common, there will be videos saying, do you need to have this kind of certification? And then the person will talk about it saying, yes, no, why is it important? When is it important? As someone who's looking to pivot careers, I'm not sure how to navigate the job sites. Any recommendations? Yes, well, you're going to be looking at the career that you're looking to pivot to. So that's the recommendation is just look for the job that you're looking to, and then try to find parallels between the skills you already have and those job descriptions of the jobs you're looking to. If you're not really sure where you're trying to pivot, then you're still in the exploration stage. And you're going to be watching those YouTube videos that I talked about where the people are talking about different careers. You're going to be going to ONET and exploring their career profiles. And you're going to be taking quizzes to determine which fields might be good for you. And you're going to be talking to people who are in those fields to see if those fields are indeed good for a person like you. Can I access resume writing resources? Yes. So we have a bunch of videos that we've done on resumes, both long sessions like this one and shorter videos. They're on our YouTube channel. I'll post them in the follow-up email. And then there are a whole bunch of resume resources out on the web, and most of them are not bad at all. So depending on what your field is, what field you're applying to, I would say that there are general purpose resume resources. But then some fields have more specific information that they'd want. And for those, I would say type into Google sample resume and the job that you're applying for. And that'll be helpful because you'll get a lot of examples. And that's those examples you can use to put in the kind of verbiage you need, like the words that are best to use for those jobs. What about cover letters? How often should I include one? And if so, how should I tailor it to the job I'm applying for? So again, we have whole programs on cover letters, so I'm not going to give you a whole rundown on cover letters right now. I will say again that if the job description doesn't say don't include a cover letter, then include the cover letter. And you can tailor it for the job that you're applying for by looking at what the job requires and understanding the job responsibilities and talking about them in the cover letter. How does your experience speak to that? Why are you better than another applicant or the 999 other applicants for this job? Is there a website that after looking up a job, you can verify if it is real or not? The company website. So if you look up a job, if you find a job on CalJobs or Indeed.com or wherever, and then we talked about this a little bit earlier. Somebody asked a good question. If you look at the job site, the company website, so if you're applying for a company, like a job at Google or something, and you found the job at Indeed.com, and then you go to Google.com careers or whatever their job site is, and it's not there, then you go, wait a second, what's going on here? Does the job still really exist? That's how you verify. You can also call their HR. Where is the best place for someone over 60 to find a job? I don't mention my age on my resume, but after a face-to-face interview, I don't get hired. This has happened many times, even though I'm well qualified. So it's hard to know why you're not getting hired. It might have to do with your age. It might not. But there, Workforce 50 is the site that Lawrence mentioned. So that would be a good one because if people are posting there, then they're specifically trying to reach out to folks who are on the older end of the spectrum. So I would say that's probably a good site. But the good thing is that you're getting interviews. So you know that your qualifications are good, your cover letter is good, your resume is good. So now it's time to bore into why you might not be getting past the interview. Best way to search for a job. Another, if you're 60, I look around and see most employees, especially restaurants, are very young. That's true, but not exclusively true. So I think for restaurants, because many jobs, especially at where they're not high paid jobs necessarily, restaurant jobs are often transitory. You know, people are there for a little while, then go. But if you go to restaurants that have been around for a long time, diners and very expensive restaurants, you'll find that there are people who have been there for 20, 30 years because it's a career that people can stay in. But if it's a sort of a high traffic restaurant, you know, oftentimes the folks working there are younger. But yeah, I mean, Workforce 50, but there's no special way to, you know, look better if you're no matter what your age is. If you're qualified, and it's up to the employee whether they hire you. And if they don't hire you because you're older, then that's a red flag for you. Do you really want to work at a place that looks at people who are older that way, that they say, no, just because somebody's older, I'm not going to hire them? Does a large gap in my resume put me at a disadvantage? Is there a way I can get past this? So we're starting to get questions now that are not relevant to job search websites. I'm going to do a few more, and then I'm going to conclude. And if you do have questions, you can always ask the questions that aren't specifically relevant to job search websites by email. You know, we'll do what we can to answer those. So this question is about a large gap in my resume. And this is a common question that we get because a lot of people have this issue where it's a few years or more than a few years where you haven't worked. So the question that comes up for me, you know, if I was taking the place of the hiring manager and I was seeing a resume with a huge gap, you know, like a 2 year gap, not as big of a deal. A lot of people during the pandemic had a gap for a variety of reasons. If it's a 10-year gap and you haven't had a job for 10 years, but you had some experience before that was relevant. Okay, so you got some relevant experience. My question is, can this person do the job? And if that gap has nothing in it, then I don't know. There's no way for me to answer that question. So what ways to get around that is to, you know, you would put training, you would put volunteering, that might be relevant. If what you were doing during that gap has some relation to the job, then you might put that in your resume or include that in your cover letter because that's what hiring managers care about. They care about whether somebody's done the job, especially if it's an entry level position. It doesn't, most entry level positions don't require a ton of experience. So that's it. The gap is not going to matter as much. If it's a job that requires a lot of experience, if it's sort of a high level job, then you're going to have to address how you're going to be qualified to do the job, how you're going to be able to do the job. And so your challenge is to answer that question for the hiring manager. Regarding older job seekers on LinkedIn, how far back should a profile information experience be listed? So we had that question before. 10 years is resume. So LinkedIn, you can also do 10 years, but you can also do longer. So you don't have to worry. I mean, if it's relevant to the job you're seeking, then include it. Are there job search sites exclusively for veterans, retired military, or separated veterans? I think that there are. Offhand, I don't know, but I believe that there are, and there are also organizations that will help you find a job if you're a veteran or a spouse of a veteran. We actually had a program for specifically for veterans. We've had two for Work Ready about how to transfer the skills learned in the service to a career outside in civilian life, and also some specific advice for veterans. We had one relatively recently. I'm going to make a note to put that into the follow-up email. I see Flex Jobs has a fee for searching jobs that have been reviewed and verified. Is this something worth paying for? Hard to say. I don't know how much it is. If it's like a nominal fee of like $5 or something, then maybe. Um, I would I would not worry about it too much. I would just apply for jobs that seem like they're worthwhile for you and, you know, look for red flags. Good advice here. If you are a graduate, use your career office. Yes. So if you graduated from a university, a community college, they often will have offices that will help with placement, will help you work on your resume. Use those resources. I suspect that even if you graduated a long time ago, like even if you graduated decades ago, you might be able to contact the alumni office of your university, community college, whatever, of your school, and they may still be able to help you, or they may still direct you to the career center. So it's possible that you're not disqualified if even if you've been out of school for a long time. It's worth a call. It's worth an email. Doesn't hurt. I went on LinkedIn and viewed profile content so that I to the topic of different language, I see that your content may be viewed in different languages. Also, there's a demographic section which associates your ethnicity, race, and sexual gender, but I don't think this is made public. Not sure there's a specific dropdown on identifying certain language jobs. Oh, thank you for your research. So it looks like there's content you can see. There's different languages on LinkedIn. I mean, people can have their profile in different languages. But yeah, it's worth some research. So we'll do some more research on whether there's a different non-English job sites that are out there for you to use. How true is it that a submitted resume will likely not reach the employer due to an automated screening process, such as keywords in your resume not matching those in a job listing? So again, we're talking about applicant tracking systems, and it's hard to say how true is that. It's true to a certain extent. There's certain things that applicant tracking system will see and they'll toss your resume out. What those things are differ by company. If it's a really big company, the chances are they're using some kind of filter. So you want to use keywords that are similar to those in the job description and no weird formatting because the applicant tracking isn't going to be able to read that. Are there paid positions with elected officials in their offices? I've heard many political jobs are volunteer positions. Yes. Yeah, the political officials, elected officials have staff. They pay their staff. They work full time, sometimes more than full time. Are there any tips for applicant tracking systems? It just covered that. We've had other programs on WorkReady, specifically the resume programs, where they talk in depth about applicant tracking systems. So I recommend looking at those. Do you have training or presentation on how to make your resume AI ready? So AI ready is not necessarily a term that is specific to resumes. You can use AI to help you write your resume or to help you write your cover letter. And we've talked about that a little bit on during Work Ready programs and other digital literacy programs with the library. And I'm actually hoping that we're going to have a program on specifically using AI to help you with your work documents, like your resume and cover letter in the future. So keep an eye out for that. Can you give us some resources where we can get mentoring on resumes and interviews? So one-to-one mentoring for interviews, I don't have resources for that. There's job coaches that will help with that, and there's like the job centers of California. So there's the and work source centers in different cities. Those will help you. So that if you go to, I'm going to put a website in the chat right now. If you go to those, there's people that will help you with your resumes. If you go to one of the AJCCs, um, then they will help you with resumes. They'll help you potentially even with interviews. So I'm trying to find the site for the AJCCs that has all of their locations. Okay, there we go. Post that in the chat. They're all over LA County. No matter where you are, you're probably not too far from one. So AJCCs will help with that. For resumes, you can actually, so we have BrainFuse, which is a service that the library offers where you can get somebody to look over your resume, and there's actually job coaches available too. And I'm going to post that in the follow-up email. And that's a really, really good service for our library card holders. So for all of you. Do employers even read resumes, or are most filtered out by ATS systems first? I'm wondering if I should tailor my resume for a human or an ATS, both. But tailoring it for a human and an applicant tracking system isn't that different. I mean, your resume is not going to be that different. So I would say both. I think what is hybrid? I think I was referring to hybrid resume. So there's a functional resume and there's a chronological resume. A functional resume just lists the job functions that you've had. A chronological resume lists them in sequential order from newest to oldest. A functional resume just lists by job very different job titles. A hybrid has a little bit of both. Do you have samples of post-interview thank you letters, even for rejections? I don't have samples of them, but if you go to Google and type in thank you letter, post-interview thank you letter samples, I'm sure that there's a bunch of them out there. We also have books at the library with samples like that. I'm not sure, but I know we have a lot of resume sample books and like cover letter samples, but thank you letters, I'm not so sure. That you might actually look at something like Emily Post's Book of Etiquette. Books on etiquette will have templates for thank you letters. I do a lot of applications every week for various clients. I don't know if I have time to verify every job I apply to. It's anywhere between 100 to 300 applications a week. Advice. That's a lot of applications. I gotta say, you're putting in the work. That's a lot of effort. My question to you is, are there 300 jobs you really want, that you're qualified for, that you're applying to? I mean, you're applying for jobs all over the United States and just the greater LA. That's a lot of jobs every week. I would say that you need to spend more time looking at the actual job description, and those will give you red flag. I mean, you'll see some red flags on there, but then if you're just, sort of throwing out all those applications, then you're going to have to be cautious and look closer with the responses that you get. I think we are pretty much at the end. There's somebody mentioned that if you're younger folks on the Zoom, perhaps look into becoming an airline pilot. I'm going to leave that to all of you to research becoming an airline pilot. Somebody else mentioned AARP has job listings. Do you recommend this as much as other job search sites for 50 plus job hunters? It doesn't hurt. I mean, if you look at the listings and the listings are good and they're inexpensive or free, then yeah, I would say AARP is as good a site as Workforce 50 or any other sites specifically focused on older job seekers. So sure. Where can we search for library job postings? California Library Association website. If you're looking for job postings within California. The American Library Association also has a job board. I don't think you have to be a member to join the job board, and you can sign up for weekly or monthly emails where you get all the listings or listings from just specific geographical areas. So American Library Association, I would say that if you're looking for all throughout the United States. But if you're looking for more specific areas, look at the government websites of the libraries that you're applying for. So like if you're applying for like Contra Costa County, look at the website of Contra Costa County and then their job board. Some of them will be in government jobs, the government jobs website, but look at specific ones in the geographical area that you're looking for. All right. Well, I didn't know if I would, but I did. All the questions have been, wait, there's one more. What are some good .edu job sites? .edu, that's a great question. I don't know offhand. I know that for nonprofits, idealist.org. I'm going to post it in the chat. Idealist.org is a good job site for nonprofits. And I don't know if they have, they may have they may not have like professor positions or assistant professor, those kind of things. They may have some administrative jobs in universities. So I would take a look at idealist.org. Okay, I think I'm going to call it there. Thank you very much for your questions. Thank you for sticking around here. The session is recorded. You will get a recording of it. It will be on our YouTube channel. You get a link via email. I do have a post-event survey that I would appreciate if you filled out. It's very short, but it's very helpful to us if you fill it out. And once again, thank you all for being here, and we'll see you next time.